Good evening, Honorable Speaker, Dr. P.V. Sambasiva Rao. Good evening, Mr. Virendra Kumar Paul, the Honorable High Commissioner of India in Kenya, Dr. Raghav Rao, Vice President, Southern Regional Committee of ILTA, and Dr. Mohan, General Secretary of Indian Leather Technology Association, Southern Regional Committee, and the distinguished participants. Let Professor Shashank Shekhar Dutta, who was an eminent professor of leather chemistry of College of Leather Technology, Kolkata, from 1967 till his retirement in 1994, well known to the entire leather fraternity for his books, which are extremely popular and read in all technological institutes of India, passed away on 14 January 2018. From the year 2019, ILTA started organizing Professor S.S. Datta Memorial Lecture on 2nd February of every year. Today's event includes felicitation of some eminent business houses for their outstanding contribution to the industry, along with presentation of awards to the students adjudged the best project work in MTech and BTech leather technology examination from different technological institutions of India. Let me start with the welcome address by Dr. Raghav Rao, and to mention this is an initiative of Southern Regional Committee of Indian Leather Technology Association. I request Dr. Rao to welcome the participants and the speakers and the guests.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malik. I think good evening to one and all. A wonderful evening today. I think it really gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of ILTA Southern Region for the third S.S. Datta Memorial Lecture. My special welcome to the speaker of the day, Mr. P.V. Sambasiva Rao, distinguished alumni, and Mr. Virendra Kumar Paul, High Commissioner for India. I think Mr. Ashish Sinha, Deputy High Commissioner, also will be joining soon. I welcome him. This is really special to see that dignitaries of Indian origin are part of this particular webinar series to really compliment Mr. P.V. Sambasiva Rao's achievements and contributions to the Kenyan government. And as mentioned by Mr. Malik, Professor S.S. Datta, an eminent professor of leather chemistry of the College of Leather Technology, and he passed away in 2018, 14th January, and since 2019 onwards, we have been organizing this Professor S.S. Datta Memorial Lecture at Chennai during International Leather Fair on 2nd February every year. It so happened because of the pandemic, we could not have, a physical meeting this year, and we are fortunate that we still continue to have this meeting without, changing the dates or without, deferring the meeting. So it is really good that we are really continuing to remember Professor S.S. Datta. And if you really look at the book, what he has contributed to the leather fraternity, it's like a Bible, which even I have seen reading that during my BTech days. The program has been well described by Mr. Malik. I think it involves, dignitaries, felicitation, and then award function to the students of BTech, MTech, leather technology for their contribution towards best project thesis. That's how, the program is going to be continued. And now the third S.S. Datta Memorial Lecture is being delivered by an eminent distinguished alumni and overseas entrepreneur, Executive Director of Alpharama Limited, Kenya, by Mr. P. Sambasiva Rao on the topic repositioning the Indian leather sector to the global needs and scenario post-COVID. He is from 1979 BTech batch. He did his MTech and then he did his higher studies in Kenya and contributed phenomenally to the industrial growth of Kenya and also for bridging the ties between India and East African countries. He has several prestigious awards to his credit. I think Mr. Malik will introduce the speaker with several laurels, to his credits. I'm very happy to see good gathering joining this evening, about 40 people. I think people are getting in, joining. I think by the time, Sambasiva starts his lecture, maybe we will cross 75, because normally this is the time, traffic is there, so people will try to join little late. Anyhow, we will really enjoy this evening. And once again, I welcome you all for this wonderful lecture to be held this evening by Mr. P.V. Sambasiva. Thank you, Mr. Malik, for giving me this opportunity to welcome the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. We are fortunate enough to be associated with Dr. Virendra Kumar Paul, the Honorable High Commissioner of India in Kenya. So, sir, when you are present here, we'd request you to say a few words on this occasion.
Good afternoon, everyone, both our friends in Kenya and also back in India. To begin with, I would like to thank you for asking me to join this important occasion, the Professor S.S. Dutta Memorial Lecture. A short while ago, I heard about Professor S.S. Dutta, how close and how revered he is by the leather community in India because of his accomplishments and what he has done for the leather industry in India in his capacity as professor of leather chemistry. I'm particularly pleased that this year the keynote address, the memorial lecture, is being delivered by Dr. P.V.S. Rao, who is a distinguished and highly accomplished member of the Indian origin community in Kenya. Dr. Rao is not just a very successful entrepreneur, but he's also in his capacity as a scholar. You know, he holds a doctorate in leather chemistry under one of the top leather scientists of India. What he has done for India-Kenya trade and economic engagement, not just in the leather industry, but in the larger trade and economic engagement between the two countries, is something we are grateful for, and we are also proud of his contribution to the relationship. Very briefly, what I would like to say on this occasion is that we are passing through difficult times, and in the post-COVID recovery, we are going to, and we are already facing a series of challenges. And as the High Commissioner of India in Kenya, one of our objectives here is to make fullest possible use of the opportunities that are available in some specific sectors of our relations with Kenya. And here, leather figures as an important focus area. And Dr. P.V.S. Rao himself has demonstrated that whether it is trade in leather or in fact, even the science and technology aspect of leather industry in Kenya, this is an area where India can contribute even more in the times to come. And as we move forward in our economic relations with Kenya and the larger Africa, I think we should focus on and make fullest possible use of the opportunity that leather industry offers in the larger economic relationship that we have with African countries. And I'm sure today's lecture by Dr. Rao is going to focus not just on the potential of leather industry, but also the role that it plays and the position that leather industry occupies in the larger menu of the areas of the thrust areas that we need to focus on in the post-COVID economic recovery trajectory. With these words, I would like to thank you once again for asking me to join. And I sincerely look forward to the words of wisdom from Dr. Rao, and I wish this event all success. And there is no doubt, I have full confidence that the deliberations of this event would result in some concrete outcomes, some concrete suggestions and recommendations that will help us understand the role of leather industry better as we proceed ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Paul, for your inspiring words. Today, we are also very happy to have Dr. Buddhadev Chatterjee as participants. He is the ex-principal of Government College of Engineering and Leather Technology and an eminent scientist in leather science. We request him to say a few words before we start the program of the next session.
Good evening and namaskar. Honorable High Commissioner Dr. Paul, our beloved General Secretary, my friend Dr. Raghav Rao, Dr. B.N. Das, and my teacher, Dr. Saudullah, and all the participants. Well, keeping the catch line from our His Excellency, the Ambassador of India in Kenya, I would like to say that I had a personal experience of working for a few weeks in Limuru, Kenya, and the other places like in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Batak factories, and I've seen there are enormous potential to grow. Only thing that time, what I envisaged is the shortage of supply of chemicals, and in the most of the chemicals in 30 years back was dependent on the export from the European countries. Leaving this aside, and that possibly Dr. P.V. Sambasiva will touch upon in making his contribution more glorious in the bilateral relationship between Kenya and India. But I would like to say something about Professor Dutta. He is directly my guru and most of our guru. I studied from 1972 to 1976 directly under him. And I had to also accompany his crematorium. Now, writing a book is not exactly the contribution of Professor Datta. Professor Datta was a self-taught man. He had his very sound chemistry background because he studied his BSc chemistry honors in the then Calcutta University in 1950s. When great stalwarts in chemistry, chemical fields, and chemical sciences, particularly in chemical technology, were his teacher. Whatever he had decided at the time, for which I am very grateful to him, and all of us, all the leader technologists of the country are grateful to him, that he shouldered the responsibility to write a book. In many areas, you will find later on that perhaps some kind of oversimplification has been done. But you see that it's not an easy task to accumulate even now to accumulate the information and to cater it, to write it in a lucid manner to the students who have just passed out high secondary, having no idea about the three-dimensional structure of even a carbon atom. Forget about the collagen. So that kind of a the ownership, that kind of a responsibility, that strikes me over years and years, because I know It's not like today that you have a Google it and get most of the information and go to the sites in the internet and get the information. At the time when he wrote the book, it was not there. The book was published in the event of the Golden Jubilee of the Government College of Engineering and Leather Technology by the contribution of the students. This is another historical event. I know that while writing the book, he had to write in hand the manuscript, which is not thinkable now. And then he has to type it out, get it typed out, corrected. Then the printing press was handling with a letter press, by hands. So this was an enormous responsibility and enormous, several nights he has to keep nights together and months, years and after years he has to publish it. The first edition was small, second edition was double the size, third edition was even 3 times more the size. So you can see that over last 20 years he has always been hankering after providing the information and to cater the brain of the students of leather technology and to cater the idea of analytical thinking and understand the leather chemistry in a storytelling manner. When he used to come to the class, he appeared to us as a storyteller. He is not telling something which is not very complicated to us. We could grasp his lecture. We could imagine the visual that he portrayed in his lecture was extremely good, without any visual aids, just by language. And that kind of language you will find only in the book. That is the greatness of Professor S.S. Datta. And today, it is unthinkable in that sense when the technology was not so advanced, both in the printing and also in the knowledge domain and the searching of the knowledge. I'm extremely grateful to Dr. P.V. Sambasiva Rao, who requested me to say a few words, and in compliance with his request only, I came into picture. I hope all the best and all of us will enjoy. Your Excellency, thank you very much for enlightening us, and also possibly this is the most honorable dignitary that ILTA ever had in the same platform, and that was possible only because of COVID. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Chatterjee, for your Professor Datta, and what you have said, rightly said. We are all indebted to him. Now, let us announce the names of the award winners for the project Adjust the Best in the year 2019-20. The first award winner is Miss Pranita Chakraborty in BTech Leather Technology examination, Macau University of Technology, Kolkata, for the project titled Synthesis and Application of Fundamentalized Activated Carbon from Leather Trimming Waste in Dye Removal, a waste to wealth approach. Congratulations, Ms. Pranita Chakraborty. Next award winner is Mohammad Khatija Bibi, MTech Leather Technology examination, Anna University, for her project titled Studies on Super Hydrophobic Self-Cleaning Leathers. Congratulations again, Ms. Bibi. Another award is going to Mr. Lingareddy Hari Sainath. He is MTech Footwear Science and Engineering examination, Anna University. Design innovation of inverted cleats in footwear suitable for icy surface. Congratulations, Mr. Sainath. Mr. Ankush Jain K. BTech Leather Technology examination from Anna University for the project title Process Standardization of Chrome-free leather manufacture of high-end application. For high-end application. Congratulations, Mr. Ankush. Next award winner is Mr. Deepak Awasthi, BTech Leather Technology examination from HBT University, Kanpur, for the project title Tannery Effluent Treatment and Zero Liquid Discharge. Congratulations, Mr. Awasthi. So these are the award winners for the best projects of last year. Another award we give every year for the best overall export performance adjudged by CLE. Memento and certificate every year we give it to them. This year we approach CLE, but we have not received the information yet who are the best export performers. As soon as we will get the information, we will send the awards and the certificates to them. Now we are going for the main session of this event. Before I introduce the honorable speaker, I request all participants to keep themselves in mute mode and give a patient hearing so that we all can enjoy the valuable deliberation. Let me introduce Dr. Rao in a short introduction. Dr. P.V. Sambasiva Rao is at present the Executive Director, Alpharama Limited, Kenya. He established leather business in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. He is BTech and MTech from AC Tech College of Chennai, India, and MBA from American University in Kenya. He received Distinguished Alumni Award during AC Tech Platinum Jubilee Celebration 2019. Received prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award from His Excellency Honorable President of India, Ramnath Kovind, in the field of technology. He also received highest civilian award, Elder of the Order of the Golden Heart, EGH, from His Excellency Honorable President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, for the social and economic development in Kenya. He is Dr. Rao. So I request Dr. Rao to start the professoracies of the memorial lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Distinguished Honorable His Excellency Dr. Virendra Kumar Paul, our High Commissioner of India to Kenya, then Dr. R. Rao, Raga Rao, and Dr. Mohan, and Mr. Malik, and all the distinguished guests and all protocols observed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and pleasure and privilege for me to be with you this evening. A very unique one, bringing the leather technologies globally into one platform. And this is the first time of its kind happening. And I'm very happy that our High Commissioner, our Deputy High Commissioner, joined this function. We really thank him at a very short notice that His Excellency would like to, participated and is motivated, speaking about, what's happening. It's really an encouraging. Thank you, Your Excellency. I think Mr. Chattopadhyay has excellently narrated about Professor S.S. Dutta. And certainly whoever has come out with this unique memorial talk, it is required for the present generation, it required for the future generation, because these are the legendary people who made the difference in the leather sector. As a student, I studied the introduction to the principle of leather manufacturing, and this book is a great treasure for the industry for many years to come. And celebrating like this, people who contributed, I think we need to do more and more so that we all understand, our next generation understand what went on in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, I studied in AC Tech, and some of my gurus are there on the platform today, Dr. Sadullah, and my colleagues who are my classmates of 1979 batch. We all fortunate that we have come from a very prestigious and only one of its kind, that is AC College of Technology. And there's a strong base we all been built upon, and that base made what we are today. Especially in my case, it's a great foundation, spending 7 years in the research laboratories and in the classrooms of AC Tech and CLRI. My family is 3 generations in the leather business. My father, late Leela Prasad, was a scientist from CLRI. My uncle, Dr. Y. Naiduma, many of you know that he's the backbone of one of the backbone of the leather industry. And I worked under Professor T. Ramaswamy in my BTech and MTech. So probably I was so fortunate that to work with all these people who motivated my life. My journey to Africa started because of one great personality whom we don't have today, that is late Sri Mushtaq Papia. He's the one who has chosen me and asked me to travel to Kenya in 1981, September, when I was doing my MTech. So whatever happened, my life has changed because of late Mushtaq Papia. He asked me to come to his plant and work there for 3 years. And that is the starting point of my career. Even though an MTech student doesn't like to go and work in the raw department, but he made me to work and understand the basic fundamentals of the leather making in the beam house. So I thank his family, and I still remember his words, say that Africa is the future, go and explore. And support of my dad and my Dr. Naidama and Dr. T. Ramaswamy, I landed in 1982 in Africa, in Kenya. Dear ladies and gentlemen, as you all know that we are all having a challenge as a leather industry worldwide. So today's topic, we are looking at how we reposition the Indian leather sector globally competitive manufacturing on Indian soil. So far, the Indian leather industry has made great progress with all the difficulties it faced in the last 60 to 70 years. Wonderful contributions from the Council for Leather Exports, Central Leather Research Institute, and many organizations. We also should give credit to Government of India for its continuous support in policy makings. Being the top 10 forex earner today, leather sector is a very important, employing 4.4 million people in India. Second largest in footwear and garments, and the fifth largest in the leather goods exports in the world, is not an easy, and it is a challenging task for all our leather, our tanneries and our product manufacturers in India. Business dynamics are changing rapidly. So I believe that when these things are happening, we also need to innovate. We need to change the way of doing business. When you are domestically competitive with the quality, become more competitive globally. I think this is one of the fundamentals which I strongly believe in this. And the balance between a domestic market and export is very, very important. There are cases, many countries are only tuned to exports, many countries are only focusing on domestic. A combination of these two post-COVID is very important for India. As you all know, that we have a very strong middle class community is growing at a fast growth. And that is the reason why we all need to focus in the Indian market in the years to come. Investments into some of the areas are the key for the future to reposition our Indian leather sector. Number one is the raw materials. With 20% of the world cattle and buffalo population, with 11% of goat and sheep world population being in India, I think this is one of the things is our wealth. I think there must be a reason why our finance minister, Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman, in the budget 2 days back, has imposed on the duty on imported wet blue, crust, and finished leather. Probably she's asking us to improve our quality of our raw materials. So the value addition need to start there. The value addition is not necessary that taking a finished leather and making a product and then exporting. So value addition has to start at the raw material level. And this is starting with animal husbandry, pre and post-mortem defects. For the last 2 years, we have challenges in Kenya, in East Africa, and across Africa, the quality of the raw material, because we are competing with the raw material, raw exporters for food in West Africa, and the raw materials which are not being taken care. So last 2 years, my organization has put a lot of efforts, taken a challenge with the government of Kenya, and we have improved our raw material quality on the cattle by 200%, which we couldn't believe. And on the skins, goat and sheep, we have improved our quality by 100%. So when you have a strong base of raw materials and you have a tanners who can convert that into that, probably this is what our honorable minister wants us to do. But at the same time, I know very well, I had opportunity to talk to the Honorable Minister Nirmala Sitharaman during her visit for a WTO conference in Kenya. She has spent almost 40 minutes talking about various industries and especially asking about leather sector. And she had a bilateral discussions with the Kenyan government minister at that time, Mr. Adan Mohammed of industry. And she promised that there is a strong collaboration can happen between Kenya and India. You need to take it probably positively that it is a challenge. Another way of investment is required is a very high skill development. The skill developments, we always think that we should always think that it is at a higher level and middle level of the production. But it is important that we should retain and work very close at the grassroots level, people in the production line. And we need to invest in technology, in designing courses. We need to spend in R&D, involving in the research organizations like Central Leather Research Institute, how we can make our skill developments better. One of the challenges I think you have now, and our brother Chattopadhyay said when he was in Kenya, he has experienced the chemicals, shortages, things like that. Today, a very unique challenge which is facing the leather sector all over the world and also in India is the cost of raw material versus the chemicals. The cost of raw material is so volatile and so unpredictable. And on the other side, our chemical cost is going up day by day, day by day. Today, it used to be in the olden days, if it is a 1 rupee is the raw material and the chemicals used to be 1 rupee or less. But today it is 1 rupee is to 3 rupees. How do you sustain? We need to do more and more sustainable, production. And I would like to see India to be a major production units of the chemicals for continents like Africa, because today still in Africa, we are still getting a lot of products either from Italy or from other countries, and which I think I would like to see that. We are still trying to encourage people of Indian chemical companies, but we have challenges which I think we need to discuss in a different platforms. And lean manufacturing principles should be followed. As I said, if I would like to have like China, which I would normally travel a lot. In China, you have a small lot production with qualities. We should be able to design the systems, short lead time delivery, and logistics. These are the 3 most important dynamics we should include into our post-COVID industrialization of the leather sector. Today, for example, if I would like to import certain, for example, we are having challenges of getting soles or components for the footwear and leather goods. There is a minimum batch size people are requesting, but whereas China and some other countries, they have a small batches which they can accept it. This is the new way of doing business worldwide. Not that India is not capable, but I think we have not put our thoughts and our involvement into these things. Is a very, very important. Technology in using marketing. SMEs are the backbones of the countries like India and all other countries in Africa. SMEs can drive a bigger markets than the big groups, and the domestic and global market, we should encourage how we can use technology. For instance, last week, our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, was having a one-to-one meeting with the CEO of Global, Mr. Sundar Pichai, that asking him that how Google can help Kenyan manufacturing sector to empower economically. He was telling Mr. Sundar Pichai that yes, we in Africa are using your tools, we are implementing your things, but you need to empower. I think that is the fantastic way of challenging the global, technological company, how Indian SMEs can be a go global, can have a domestic market. We all know that there is a lot of startup companies coming, but still we need to do more on this. On environment, I think we have a lot of challenges on environment. We cannot get away from that. Investment on environment is very, very important for long-term and sustainability. And I think each tannery and each person who is involved in the leather production must be adopting the LWG standards. So this gives you a level playground, and we can be at the international levels, because Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 5 years, if we are not going to invest on environmental, we are not going to be an LW, very little chance of survival. And on education, I think we have to find, and I'm very happy and I congratulate all the winners of this year I can see that they're all been doing research in BTech and MTech on the more of environmental issues. And we congratulate all the winners. And I think this type of modernization and technical teaching is important. Coming back to education, I think there is a lot can be done that the India can transfer the technology for the development of developing countries like Africa, and India needs a partnering with African countries, and Africa needs India. So we really welcome on that angle. There is a new innovative way of doing businesses, which I strongly suggest to many Indian business houses and new startups in the leather productions of footwear, leather goods, and garments. This is investing in outbound investments. Today, China has taken this route and they're very, very successful that they would like to be a part of a global player in the outbound investments. This means that they come out of, I would like to see Indian, the leather sector entrepreneurs and the young people who would like to take challenges come outside India. We are so fortunate that Indian diaspora is a very strong diaspora worldwide. His Excellency, our Prime Minister, has given so much importance. Sri Narendra Modi, every time he's telling to all the manufacturing sectors and all the industries in India, utilize the diaspora. We have 30 million diaspora worldwide, 3 million in Africa alone. The Indian diaspora has a very strong base. They have contribution in political, cultural, social, and economically so much. That is your strength when you come in. So I strongly believe that this diaspora can make difference, and partnering with them and partnering with the people is very important. Since the Prime Minister Modi ji came in, our embassies have become very vibrant and very strong. Like you can see that we have no protocols. His Excellency, Dr. Virendra Kumar Paul, is just one phone call and requesting him to join. He joined. It was not the case 15, 20 years back. We have a very strongly experienced people has been placed in Africa for the last 10 years. And we are fortunate that our previous High Commissioner, His Excellency Rahul Chebra, who is now the Economical Secretary in Foreign Affairs in Delhi, looking after the investments for Africa and countries around India. So we have so many eminent people who really wants us to partner and make India a strong country, a strong nation, and as a global partner. And during his visit, the Prime Minister, since 2017 in Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and South Africa, he said, Africa is on the top of the agenda of India. So ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that our way of repositioning of Indian sector as whatever you are doing is also, you have to think more broadly how we can become a global players. I would like to give just a story about my organization, because everybody says that, Africa has problems, Africa has issues and all. But I can tell my experience probably which can help you to strengthen, to believe in Africa. My organization want to be a global player, which we started in 1995. What we did in the last 25 years is something very unique, We are proud of it. We are able to put the East African leather on the world market. We practiced, I call it as a 3S: scale, skills, and speed. Scales where we have built infrastructures, we have built capacities, which some people will be surprised that we have such a big capacity to convert our raw materials into value addition. We have bought machinery of the latest technology. We have invested in the environmental process. We are the first LWG Gold audited company probably in Africa. We have very strongly spent energy and time in procuring the resources of chemicals and spare part, which is important to the industry. A consistent supply of chemicals, consistent supply of raw material is required for the scale of operations. Skill developments. We have time and again, we have borrowed, and I still remember my professor, Dr. Ramaswamy, or my uncle, Dr. Naidama, in 1980s used to say, transfer of technology for the rural development. But I took that, we have transferred the technology for the development of leather in East Africa. I'm very happy we are able to work with Indian technologists, Indian engineers, training with staff, with the local teams. And I can proudly say that Nairobi University has introduced the Bachelor of Technology in Leather Technology 5 years back. I am a strong believer, as an entrepreneur, to take the sector to any levels, the interactions with the governments, interactions with the stakeholders, constantly required to get the policies done. So our Kenyan government was kind enough listening to us in framing the leather bill and the leather policy and strategic plan. I was involved from the day one, and that is why we are able to put a Kenyan leather or East African leather in the world market. The last one, but not the least, which is most important, which we gave so much value, is the raw materials. We have invested time and energy from air drying to the wet salting, going to the grassroots levels, teaching the abattoirs, the flaying systems, providing the flayings and procuring systems. So these are very vital things which we did. And then in the beginning, when we started marketing, that we had challenges globally, thinking that African material, whether it is a wet blue, crest, or finished leather, was not easy. But with constant, perseverance and commitment, and with the quality, we are able today to sell our products in China, Italy, far. Our organization was able to sustain and is able to survive, and we did at least 80% of the business what we used to do pre-COVID. This is fundamentally only one thing the important thing is the quality. I used to believe in the olden days that cheap economics means you are competitive. It is not anymore. You want to be competitive, you have to be competitive with quality. This is very, very important for the future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to talk about a fascinating continent and a beautiful people of 1.2 billion people in Africa. So this is the one which I would like to talk about. The thing in Africa. I would like to just share my screen. You are able to see Mr. Malik?
Yes, it's absolutely right, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
We are getting.
yes, we are
Welcome,
saying.
sir.
We are getting.
Yeah. So I would like to talk about an African scenario because even though my mother country is India, but my karma bhumi is Africa, and especially Kenya and East Africa. I'm proud to say that I'm still an Indian, but my heart and soul is how I can connect our Indian continent with Africa. So if you see that the top 20 countries, I mean, if you see the demographic of GDP, the Asia and Africa are the most economically dynamic regions. If you see here, our Asia is 5.7% growth, and whereas Sub-Saharan Africa is 4.2, we are just behind Asia. The rest of the people, if you say Europe, North America, Latin America, Eastern Europe, even Japan, it is shrinking. So we have a very strong things to start with. If you take Africa, the 10 top countries out of the 20 fast growing economies in the world are in Africa. We have countries like Ethiopia, Ghana, we have Rwanda, Nigeria, Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, Zambia, and so on are there. And according to the IMF, which is last year, the 6 countries out of the 10 are African countries. So the dynamics are changing day by day. And Africa is rising, there is no doubt. That is why everybody all over the world are fighting for the share of this. So I would like to see that of Africa is a demographic dividends, there's a labor force and market. The reforms are also very important because we have a very strong governance and economy. Next one is the demographic. You can see here, it is changing so rapidly. In 1950, Africa was only 9% of the population. In 2015, we are already 16%. And now projected in 2050, Africa is going to be 26%, which is estimated to be 2.4 billion people. Coming back to, I was telling you about the governance. The democracies are increasing in all the countries. In 1960 to 2010, it has jumped up from 5 to almost 25 countries. African leaders are leaving the power with their limited powers. We can see here, in the olden days, unless it is a very coup or something, they were not giving up, but nowadays we have people are retiring. Opportunities in Africa is really abundant. Rapid urbanization, infrastructure deficit, like you can see here, 93 billion per year is required every year. This is an African Development Bank estimation. We need 38 billion investments in the operational and maintenance. Agribusiness is 40% of the world unutilized agricultural land is in Africa. Food and beverage market is projected to be tripling by 2030 from 330 billion to 1,000 billion is the World Bank estimations. Technology emerging leaders in the mobile services. Rapid urbanization is happening in all the towns in Africa. As an example, you can see that in Lagos, Congo, Nairobi, Joburg, and other Dar es Salaam. And as you know that Kenya is one of the first country who has initiated mobile transfer money. The connectivity to mobiles to the indigenous people is huge. You can see the jump from year 2000 to 2016 from almost zero to touching to almost 1 billion people. The penetration is very high in Kenya, it is almost 100%. So technology utilization is very, very high. Coming back to technology hubs in all over Africa is growing day by day. Especially you can see the West Africa, East and Southern African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you a scenario of Kenya leather sector, which is more concentrated in Kenya. We have here, as you know, that the leather sector worldwide is estimated to be 100 billion, out of which the 59.5% is the footwear and 53.5% is, of the footwear business is the leather. Now, you can see here 20% of the global livestock is in Africa, but our African value addition is only 4%, and it is a contribution in the world level is so much less. This is where we are all focusing very strongly, that how we can utilize the 20% of the global livestock and become a global player trying to achieve close to Brazil and India in the next 10 years. In Kenya today, our exports are $140 million. Our domestic market is another $50 million. So target is we want to come to close to $1 billion in the next 10 years. Our cattle population, our livestock population in Kenya is 17.5 million cattle, 27.7 million is goat, 17.1 million sheep, and 3 million cattle. This is a very strong base. Along with this, we also have a huge livestock population in East Africa. This is a Kenyan leather sector. Since 2007, we have, this is an old one, but we have the latest figures, which is a 2019. We have already crossed $160 million. And mostly it is still, we are at the wet blue, and more tanners are doing finished and crushed leather, and product development is increasing day by day. Now, this is where our Indian partners can come in. 34 to 36 million pairs annually consumed in Kenya. 26.5 to 28 million pairs are imported, both leather and non-leather footwear. $530 million is the potential production of value lost due to imports. Billion potential retail value loss due to imports. These are the gaps that we should now try to fill it in. And we are very keen in creating an employments. We are working, His Excellency President vision was that we need to create a 1 million pairs of production in Kenya in the next 10 years. Sorry, not next 10 years, in the next 2 years. Value addition and job creation. We are at a very partial action at present, but we would like to jumpstart with a high action plan that we want to reach there in job creation. At present, we are approximately employing only around 25,000, but we would like to have our leather sector employment to reach 60,000. In the value addition, there is a huge market. East and Central Africa, as you all know, that 54 African countries want to become a one union, and 26 countries have signed up a common customs tariff. That means no duties among the countries, free labor movement, and you have East and Central Africa and other African countries. We have a strong arrangements with the USA, a project called AGOA. And also with Europe Union, we have a lot of links. Duties compared to what you are exporting from India. So with 1.2 billion in Africa and the rest of the world is open to Kenya. Here, this is what is the requirement for the shoe production in Africa. We are estimating that by 2030, we will be requiring around 1.95 billion pairs of shoes. We are at a very low level at present. We are hardly doing around 150 million pairs over Africa. So the gap is too big, and this is a challenging that our Indian industry should take over. We are in Kenya trying to adopt a Bangladesh model, which is very successful because Bangladesh is a small country like Kenya. So what Bangladesh has done, we are trying to do this. They attained from, in 1990 to 2008. And I heard that now they have surpassed close to $800 million of the exports. So this sort of a case study, Kenya is studying very seriously, and we are taking some of the mistakes they have made not to do it and working on these things. Finally, in everywhere, the benchmarks are many. We have here two strong areas of raw materials. We have a strong workforce, whereas you can see here, China, India didn't have the raw materials, but they are able to convert because of the other criteria they have, which we are all working on that, to reach that. So the base for us in Africa is the raw material, manpower, and willingness for the governments to invite the foreign direct investments. What we are going to require, we are working in Kenya on the following things on value addition, training of skilled laborers, where we need a partnership with India. The financial systems are well designed, very, very, modern in Kenya. And we are very happy with the financial systems, whereas we are working strongly on marketing strategies of finished product, tying up with international IT companies, brand developments, domestic brand developments and management, and then integration of new technologies, implementation of efficient processing, innovative thinking, and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the few points I thought I should share, and probably, to think about it, open up yourself, and so that India can become a global player around Africa, utilize African things. One thing I believe that when you are united as an industry, whether you are a tanner, whether you are a production, when you are united, there can be an harmony in the industry. When there is an harmony, there is a peace. When there is a peace, the sector will be successful, the country will be successful. So let us join hands, let us share our experiences, let us openly criticize problems and appreciate the achievements we have done so far. Our Indian diaspora is open, our embassies are open. It is now up to our industries in India to come out to become a global player, to partner with Africa. So I thank once again for this wonderful opportunity your all has given me. And certainly I am very happy and available at any type of information you would like and assist in any way possible. Thank you very much once again for the organizers, and may God bless the leather sector and people of India. Jai Hind, Asante Sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rao, for delivering the most useful, informative, and motivational Professor S.S. Dutta Memorial Lecture. The association will always remain grateful to you. Now, to conclude, I request Dr. R. Mohan, Secretary of Southern Regional Committee of Indian Leather Technologies Association, to give vote of thanks. Thank you.
Mr. Mollik, Mr. Rao may discuss on the open forum if somebody having certain points to know. I think before you join, he talked with me. He wants to discuss in the open forum if somebody wants to.
Mr. If any of the participants has got any queries on the deliberation of Dr. Rao, you can talk to him directly, or you can send the questions through chat. Also, you can ask on the open forum.
Mr. Rao, can I ask you one question? Because you have given a lot of information, but you have not indicating any government incentive to the global player, because in Bangladesh, the Taiwanese people, they are getting a lot of incentive or some benefits. Do you have anything in Kenya, Africa, that who will be working as a partner, they will be getting certain benefits?
Yes, yes, sir. You see, what happens is, especially, I can take the context of Kenya. We have what we called the investment allowances. Suppose whatever you have invested, it is have given 100% investment allowance for you, and you can, if you have that investment allowance.
Mr. Rao, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Yeah. So I'm taking that Kenyan contest. Kenyan government, and not only that, in East African, in Uganda also, your investment 100% allowances are being given to you as a tax reliefs. You can carry forward your investment allowances until you knock off against your profits. That's number one. Number two, we have a very special programs on exports with USA. It is called the AGOA project, African Growth and Opportunity Act. This act has been created for many African countries that exports from these countries into USA has no taxes. Priorities has been given. So if there are, for example, you are exporting leather goods, you have a 10% or 8% tax in USA, the tax benefit you will have. Number two, if you are going on export processing zone, you have a tag 10 years on corporate tax holiday. So these are some of the things which is a beneficial for many things. And under AGOA project, the textile industry has utilized it. Today, a huge quantities of textiles are being made for the Americans from Kenya and for East Africa. And we also have similar arrangements to the European Unions. So these are the basic. And then we have one single window. It is called CanVest. You can go to CanVest and give your proposals. Your processing is done within 1 month. So a lot of there is no importation duties on chemicals, importation duties on accessories, and also on the machinery.
Is there
Thank
any
you, Mr.
locking
Rao.
period
Any
of
other question,
investment?
please?
Hello, doctor. Is there any locking period of the investment, like a China or something?
there is no clock-in period unless you are only in the export processing zone where you have a 10 years on holiday, tax holiday 100%, and another 5 years of 50%. But when you are outside of export processing zone, your investments, continuous investments will have a benefits, and there is no lock-in period.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Sambasiva.
Any other question, please? So, I request Dr. Mohan.
Okay, sir. Yes, yes. So, good evening, one and all. Respected speaker, Honorable High Commissioner of India to Kenya, Mr. Susanta Malik, General Secretary, and Dr. Ragara, and our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on these occasions on behalf of ILTA HQ and Southern Region, and on my own behalf, a big thank to Dr. P.V. Sambasiva for your wonderful topic, repositioning the Indian leather sector to the global need, the scenario post-COVID. Sir, this lecture will really help the leather industry how to go about post-scenario. You have touched upon the point how to make the quality raw materials and how to improve the skilled development manpower, and the cost of how to reduce the cost of raw material to chemical, low cost, and how to implement the lean manufacturing principle in quality systems, and environment, how to improve the environment friendly product, and LWG auditing. So all these points taken into account by our Indian industry, so to make the quality product. Sir, thank you for your very good lecture, sir. I would like to thank our beloved High Commissioner for his special address in this meeting. I would like to congratulate and thank all the students who won the SS Dutta Memorial medals. I express my sincere thanks to Mr. Susanta Malik for his introductory speech. I like to thank Mr. N.R. Jagannathan for arranging this program. I would like to thank Dr. Raghava Rao for his welcome address. Once again, I like to thank one and all present here. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohan. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Dr. Paul, the Honorable High Commissioner, and to Mr. Jagannathan for giving us such a nice speaker. Thank you very much. Good night.